Hey everyone, happy spring break. Today I'm going to be making the homemade applesauce and apple wedges. Is all of my ingredients that I'm going to be using. Okay, so I have a Red Delicious apple and a Fuji apple. I'm going to decore them, peel them and cut them into wedges. I have my apples all peeled, cored, and cut into wedges. I'm going to put them on the stove for 20 minutes with 3 tablespoons of water and let them steam and soften. Apples are done. I cooked them for 20 minutes on power level 6. I'm gonna mash them up and then add the brown sugar and then separate fruit to both of them, or to one of them. I just added 1 Chiquita banana into this, and then I added about half of the great value pineapple slices. I mixed in a little pineapple juice to let it saturate in it. So I just added my half a cup of light brown sugar, great value, my Stone Mill ground cinnamon, and my Morton natural sea salt, or half teaspoon of Morton natural Morton, I'm having trouble pronouncing that. Morton natural sea salt, half a teaspoon to my mixture, and now I'm gonna keep blending it up, or pureeing it or mixing it. Put my applesauce that had the pineapple, banana, and apples in it, looks like, and this is just my regular applesauce. I'm mixing it up right now. I added the brown sugar, cinnamon, and salt to this one, so I'm mixing this one up now, and I'll be back after it's done. This one's pretty much done. I might mix it up a little bit longer, and then I'll do a taste test of this and then start working on my slices. This is my friends Rue and Shiloh. They're gonna try my pineapple banana applesauce. If it's bad, you can tell me. You can tell me. It's good.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, it's so horrible.
No, it tastes like applesauce.
Yeah. Whatever you have left, I'll eat it so you don't have to suffer.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks. I'm gonna start on my wedges now. I have the non-sugared ones here, and I'm gonna put the sugared ones in here once I clean this up. I didn't have 5 apples for this one, so I had to split it up. These ones are a little older, so hopefully it doesn't affect the taste either. I added the sugar to these ones, and then I'm gonna add it into the saucepan in just a minute. I added the 3 tablespoons of water to both, and I'm gonna cook on 5 to 6 for 15 minutes. So I have both my apple sauces right here. I'm gonna try my multiple fruit one first. This one has pretty good flavor. It's really sweet. I taste the pineapple in it. I'm gonna try my regular one. That one's sweet too. It just tastes like, regular applesauce. So I think it was overall a success for both of these. They're both really good. The texture was pretty good in both of them. It was a little something I would do if I went back was put my banana and my pineapple in with it. I just kind of forgot to do that part at the end. I don't know why. But I did cook it a little bit with it, not a lot, but I think if I was to go back and do it, I'd do that just to make it mashing a little bit easier and for everything to like blend and have a more like flavorful taste. But overall, I thought it was pretty good. I'll probably try making this again and trying to perfect it sometime. So it's been 15 minutes. I'm gonna turn off the heat now, and then I'm gonna set it on low just to keep it warm. Take the lid off both. Okay. So here's what both of them look like. Might be hard to see a little bit of steam. This one's actually a little more like golden. This might be because of the sugar, you know, caramelizes it. I just realized I was supposed to add the brown sugar, the half a cup of brown sugar, the 1 teaspoon of salt, no, half teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and the 2 tablespoons of butter beforehand. So I'm gonna add it now and let it sit for 5 more minutes because I kind of messed it up a little bit, and then I'll come back once I've finished that. So here is the apple slices, the ones that I used oh yeah, I forgot to say what I used for that. I used, let's see, where is it? Yeah, over here. Cinnamon sugar on my apples because I did not have regular sugar, but I don't think it made too much of a difference. And here is my apples. They got a little smushed because I cooked them a little longer, but here's my apples without the sugar that I used beforehand. These ones definitely had, I know I cooked both for longer, but these ones definitely kept their shape. I'll talk about that later with the sugar. I'm gonna try both of them, give both a little taste. This is the sugar one, by the way. It's sweet. I can definitely taste like the butter in it more. It's actually a nice taste, or it has a nice like flavor to it. And then here is the non-sugar one. This one's definitely not as what's the word? No, not as sweet, but it's still good. I can taste the flavor more of the apple a little. I can taste the flavor of an apple a little bit more, but they're both really good. I'm surprised they turned out good. I thought they were gonna maybe taste a little bit older, but they ended up tasting pretty good. And I will go to my explanations now. So last thing I want to do is talk about my explanations. If I look over here, it's because I have everything written down. So I was really surprised with how my applesauce turned out. It was really good. It was a good surprise. So the taste and texture were like pretty similar to applesauce from the store. I will say that my applesauce, with the pineapples and pears, had slightly more texture. So the pieces, there's a little bit of pieces in. This also might have been this is like an error on me because I didn't put the fruits until later. You know, besides the apples, of course. So this might have made it a little bit harder to puree them. So next time I'll make sure to put all my fruit in beforehand. So I also added some pineapple juice to it. I believe this made my applesauce extremely sweet. It wasn't like bad or anything, but it was just very sweet. And then my banana also made my my sauce a lot sweeter. So the reason I think it made it a lot sweeter was because my banana was really ripe. And as McGee states on page 353, banana stores sugars as starch, and then it converts back into sweetness during post-harvest ripening. And so it had been ripening for I think like weeks or like a few weeks because this banana was like pretty brown. I noticed that in both sauces there was quite a lot of water after steaming my apples. And then on page 324 of Cookwise, Courier talks about how any heating method will cause the living cells to lose water and soften and fall apart. And then Courier also talks about this later on page 325 when she states that pectins dissolve the cell while making the fruits more, or how the pectins dissolve the cell while making the fruits and vegetables more mushy. So that also made the apples a little bit easier to break up. Lastly I want to talk about is I added lemon juice to my apples. So I took the apples from my house to Mizzou, and it sat with that a little bit. I did this. Well, my family likes to do this also because it acts as a natural antioxidant. Therefore, adding the lemon juice to apple slices helps to prevent the oxidation process and prevent it from like aging and then just getting like more like brown getting more brown overall. So for my apple slices, they turned out all right. I think I made a couple errors, as you probably saw in my video, so they're a little bit mushier than I'd like to. My big error with this was not adding the ingredients beforehand and adding them after, and then letting it cook a little longer. So it caused my apples to be to be more mushy, and it almost was like fully broken down on the non-sugar ones. So yeah, next time I would definitely make sure I add the ingredients in beforehand so they wouldn't have to cook as long. And then I did notice that my apples with brown sugar had more of a solid shape. They were definitely kept their full shape during being cooked, whereas my ones without sugar did not keep the texture, or did not keep the shape real, or they kept it a little bit but not fully while being cooked. And then Courier mentions this also on page 324. Sugar helps fruits and vegetables to retain their texture for longer by slowing down the conversion of pectin substances around the cell wall. And then later on page 325 also, Courier states it keeps the insoluble pectin substance as a glue and holds the cells together, keeping the wedges and cell wall intact. And then I also think that a big part of my apples breaking down was because of their ripeness. They were a couple weeks old. I made sure that none of them had mold on it. I did throw in one or two away with mold, but I think my apples also broke down because, as McGee states on page 356, overripe apples cell wall softens and the interiors dry out. This might have caused my apples to break down into a mushier texture quicker than a normal apple would. And then lastly, my improvements and some things I would improve on, I talked about, is making sure to steam all of my fruits together for my applesauce, so they would have more of a complete flavor, and it would maybe taste a little bit better. And I would also add less pineapple juice, as it made it really sweet. For my slices, I would make sure to add the ingredients beforehand so I wouldn't have to cook them as long. And I would also make sure I buy apples a little bit newer so they wouldn't break down as quickly. And then overall, I was really happy with this, with how everything turned out. It wasn't perfect, but I really liked making the applesauce, and I think I'm gonna actually try making it again with different fruits. That was the fun aspect of doing it, so I really had a lot of fun with this project. Alright, that's it. Thank you.